When you talk about house needs to be created to enhance or to curate relationships, interpersonal relationships between human beings. This could be a basic definition of house, because initially when the houses were made, they were primarily shelters to fight against elements. But the challenge was when in those days people used to spend time indoors, only a fraction of time, and most of the time they were out hunting, sitting or everything. To a point where today it is estimated that we spend more than 90% of our time indoors. When you talk about design, there is so much that is available. We have amazing amount of materials that are available. We have different amount of possibilities, designs, everything that is available. At a flip of your button, you can actually look at different things. So we need to create our houses more permeable and open to nature. So at Ar.BADRINATH, we always focus on ensuring that houses are naturally lit throughout the day, and not just in one room or two rooms, but at least in 80 to 90% of the rooms, where they can get sufficient and good amount of natural light which can be available throughout the day. And the next biggest thing is ventilation. It's not just okay to have air conditioning all the time, because then you're not getting the fresh air you're supposed to be. You don't understand the changes in the season, because we go in cars which are air conditioned, we live in offices which are air conditioned, sleep in houses which are air conditioned. Probably that was not the best way to consider that how your body was made. So in order to spend outdoors or to have more tolerance towards the temperature, it's always good to have your houses ventilated naturally. Is it possible in an urban dense environment to ventilate naturally? Yes, there are ways to do it. One of the easiest way we could do it is having taller ceiling heights and having bigger windows which can facilitate ventilation. So our way of house or a residence making should be more understanding of the nature and more perceivable. Technology could be scaled up, could be brought in things to do instantly. But if few things can be done where the house is more permeable to nature and we use technology to the minimal, that's the first essential step of being sustainable. Because nowadays we see mostly houses on a visual parameter. Everything you see on Instagram, everything you see on Pinterest, you just want it the way it is only a certain parameter or fraction of your experience. So our idea of house making is not about just creating certain designs which is done randomly or which creates you the interest. So when you talk about having certain styles, because I often listen about styles which people want to imitate from far west, like people want to make a house that was in London or in Canada, or it was made in Europe, and they want those kind of houses here. But if you look at the challenge or the insanity that we would be undergoing just by imitating designs, is that houses were actually a kind of clothes for a group of people. They were shelter. But the bigger challenge here is when we make those houses which were completely built for a certain climate and we make them just for the purpose of design, and specifically houses, we compromise a lot of things in terms of the basic way the life can be conducted, in terms of having a balcony, having a sit-out window, and having those experience of those connection for outside. We cut those connections and we make a building like a machine where everything is done because of certain parameters, and if you're putting it just to create those kind of experience. In turn, houses should be the ones where it can give you back to the nature, because that is the place where living your life. And if the best thing that you can do for your life is to be with the nature, and if you make houses which are closer to the nature and build around it to bring in elements, very subtle differences, in turn it would drastically affect your health, it would affect your social well-being, it would affect your mental well-being, probably help you the way you live your life. That's the first reason why you wanted your house.